This was some stuff I found I was able to scrape out of a certain place. And a lot of it, this was all free rock. I didn't touch my hammer. I didn't even need to grab my hammer. I just picked up some free rock. You can see some sulfides in here, in quartz. And, you know, I don't see anything clear and obvious, but it's rusty quartz with sulfides. And sometimes it's microscopic gold. So some of these I'll probably have to process back home and run in the furnace. There's some actual crystals, I think, right there. That's unique. I didn't see that. Actual little quartz crystals growing out of that. That's sort of neat. But I've got some. Then there was some glitteries in the rock. Oh, there. That's a beautiful piece. I can't see my camera. That right there. Boy, I can't see you on camera. Let me see if I can zoom in. There it is. That's a beautiful specimen right there. Look at that. That's a pyrite. That is beautiful. Little cube up inside there. So I grabbed that for that piece. I can see some tinier pieces up in there, really tiny pieces. Gold is often found with pyrites. Here I got some more rusty quartz samples and some of the other host rock, really rusty samples. It was just pieces that I picked up just to crush and see what we can find. Here's a very glittery irony. I believe that's an iron base rock with some quartz on it. It's got a nice sheen to it, that quartz, when it hits the sun just right. I cannot see my camera, but yeah, I think I saw it flash. But yeah, it's really neat looking no matter what. And here's a really rusty, very sparkly. Can I get it to sparkle in a camera? I just can't see the angles to get it to sparkle and flash in the camera. But it's very sparkly, glistening. A lot of pyrites right here. Really beautiful little piece. A lot of pyrites all up in here. So I'm going to look at it with a magnifying glass too and see if there's anything visible. But this is almost a pure chunk of pyrite with some quartz over here and over here. It's just a pretty piece. So, and then some of these bigger rocks, very rusty. I don't know why I grabbed this one. Oh yeah, there's some very oxidized pyrites in here. Very, very oxidized. Here I can see that's very highly oxidized. They're all cubic crystals in here. There's a clean one. A whole bunch of oxidized crystals. See, these are loaded with sulfides, pyrites. There's some oxidized ones all through up in here. It's all very oxidized, but it's loaded. This rock is very loaded. So just piece I picked up. Here was a nice big chunk. Somebody had been hammering on it. See, I'm not the first one to have been there, so somebody else had the same idea. Somebody had obviously been hammering on this, and that was a free piece I found laying by the road. There's some crystals in there. So here's some very oxidized ones up in here on this face. They're all through this. There's a little bit of a tiny bit of a quartz, a lot of rusted samples. It's in throughout. So I don't know if I'll find gold in that or not. There was a little bit of an edge of a very thin quartz vein, a lot of rust on this piece, and I saw that laying on the road, so I picked it up separate. Very rusty, and some pyrites in it. Very, very rusty. Very, very oxidized. But I figured, you know, there it is. I can check it out. But there's some of my samples. And then I went into the crevice of the bedrock and I scraped out, well, you can see the irony rust in here. I scraped out of some crevices, and if I find anything, I want to pan this out later, and I'll put it through the classifier, take out any larger chunks, pulverize them, run it through the pan and see if I can see any obvious gold. There was a lot of pyrite in here. I saw it just loaded while I was scraping out the sample. So we'll see later on. I don't know when I'll get to it because I'm going to have some peace and quiet and work with that with some water in a pan. I'll have to get my tub out and get the pan out. But it's there. I've taken notes of where I got everything, and that way I can come back later. But that's what we're here for. That's it. This is prospecting. Collecting samples, taking notes, and hoping and praying you found some good yellow glittery.